fun. All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Wow, we're doing a second episode to 90% mental, half physical, the show that exists. How you doing, James?
I'm doing good. Baseball's starting tomorrow. Got a lot of good
Yeah.
pitching matchups. You always forget. You're like, oh, I've been like watching spring training games, so it's like all these like guys who are like fighting to make the back end of the rotation, and then tomorrow like at like noon, it's like Paul Skeens and Sandy Alcantara dueling and like actually like playing to win and not like taking them out after 3 innings. It's gonna be a good life.
Yep. Baseball is fucking back. Woohoo! And you also had a victory lap you wanted to do from last
Oh
episode?
yeah. Okay, last episode I called Tony Santillan being the closer of the Cincinnati Reds and being like a top reliever in baseball. And he's already done the closer part because Alexis Diaz went down with an injury, and Tony Francona was like, "Well, he's probably going to be our reliever. He's like he's not always going to pitch. Like he might have to pitch earlier in the game, but he's kind of their high leverage guy. And he didn't look great in spring training, but it's nice to see that the manager's on my side here. I love Terry Francona.
My goat. I actually don't have any strong opinions about Terry Francona, but that's
Red Sox icon.
neither here nor there. Um, so today, as we talked about last week, if you didn't watch last week, go back and talk about last week. Nothing we said in there is all that outdated. It was just last week. I think we did a good job. But as we talked about last week, this week we're talking about rookies, breakouts, and bounce backs. You know, we're predicting things that aren't necessary. Last week we talked a lot about the best players in the league and the best teams in the league and the league sort of as a whole. And now we're looking at some of our specific predictions and, you know, players to look out for being better than you might think. Is that a good description of it?
That feels like a good description. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna run through people in both leagues, some kind of older guys. Look at a lot of the young kids coming up. Now that it's the day before opening day now, so we kind of have we have a sense of who's in the majors and who's not, which rookies have made the opening day roster, um, and we're going to talk about all that. I think we want to start with
Yep.
kind of taking a peek at trying to like construct together a AL and NL rookie of the year, kind of like top five ish. Right?
Yeah, collaboration,
Instead of drafting against each other.
communism posters. Sharing is caring. We'll get into the more capitalistic section at the end where we fight each other, and whoever is better at the free market will win. But yeah, American or National League. Where do you want to start, James?
We have to start in the American League. That's how it always works. Because
Yeah,
the
the
American
National
League
League is the worst league.
and the American League's always had the DH, right? So
Yeah,
for longer than the
always.
National League,
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
So, do we want to start with our two teams and get those guys out of the way first?
yeah, sure. You probably would be remiss not to talk about Jason Dominguez for the Yankees, probably the number one for the Rookie of the Year. Just he's had experience in the major leagues already, and is a top prospect, and is on opening day
Yeah.
roster. It's pretty close. It's him, and then I think it's him and neck with him is Red Sox opening day second baseman Christian Campbell. Those are at
We
the
want
top.
to immediately say, put those in at 1-2, and then
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Those I think
okay.
Dominguez. I give him the edge
I
because he's
I
kind of the
might
goal.
actually put Campbell above. I mean, you brought my attention to the Campbell Mookie Betts comparisons,
Mm-hmm.
and I have been won over to those. And I am a big proponent of the Mookie Betts Barry Bonds comparisons. So if
Yeah.
we're doing, yeah, I mean it's a copy of a copy of Barry Bonds is a Babe Ruth copy. So then you're just
It goes all the
copy
way
of a
down.
copy of a copy. But I guess that's how baseball works.
I think I just really value the fact that Jason Dominguez got some time in the major leagues last year. It's just like
Yeah.
with when like we like to see pitching, like a pitcher coming back from Tommy John, like DeGrom or something, pitch a couple innings. I like to see Jason Dominguez kind of run into some roadblocks, kind of struggle in September last year, and then he's going to have already improvements he's kind of bringing into spring training, bringing into this year, and Campbell is kind of just facing those struggles in spring training this year. So I think Dominguez is a little ahead on that front, though I think Campbell's like a better, a more highly touted prospect. So I would have Dominguez
Well, I don't know
and then
about.
Campbell.
I think they're both. Or the Notes app does not want me to spell Jason like that.
Oh, the two S's. Yeah, doesn't Aaron Boone say he says Jason or something, and then people are all like, "Is it Yason?" I don't know. I've heard a couple different pronunciations.
I have not actually heard him talk very much.
Aaron Boone.
But I'm sure if he starts doing really well, we'll hear about it.
Oh, the Martian. Yeah, and he has a sick nickname. I mean, the Martian's just awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a shame he's not a Houston Astro. Which is a really good. That was a great segue. I'm ignoring the other Red Sox prospect for the time being, and segueing to Astros third baseman who made the opening day roster. He's probably going to bat somewhere in the middle of the order. I don't know, behind Yordan Alvarez, maybe not Yordan, behind Christian Walker, maybe. He's going to bat like fifth or sixth. Cam Smith, a top prospect.
Cam Smith.
He has like 5 home runs in spring training. Looks unbelievable. And he's going to play, not third base, right field. That's where he's going to play. He's going to play right field. It's going to be Jose Altuve in left field and Cam Smith in right field. Weird as hell.
Yeah, I mean, you just... Bro, why did MLB Pipeline stop showing what level each of the leagues are? Whatever, doesn't matter. Cam Smith, very good. I don't know if I actually want to put him above some of the other people, so I'm not going to put him on the list yet, but definitely somebody to talk to. Yeah, raking in spring training.
And I like that he's on the big league roster from the start. Big point in his favor.
That is helpful. It isn't always necessary, but it is helpful for a Rookie of the Year campaign.
And then I guess you wanted the other Red Sox prospect, and that's, he's a top 3 prospect on all the lists. Roman Anthony, he's a couple days.
Yeah.
He's what? He's a couple days younger than me. He's still 20. His big problem is he hits a lot of ground balls right now because he doesn't quite lift all his pull fly balls, but that's like the only possible problem you can come up with. He has a great approach at the plate. Yeah. He hits huge exit velo. He's a beast.
Succeed without I mean, there are plenty of guys that aren't as good as at pulling the ball as at like hitting it in the air as you might like, and they're still superstars. Look at Stanton and Vladdy and stuff. They hit a lot of nukes into the ground, but they also hit a lot of nukes in the air, and so the rate stats not the best, but it ends up working out. Yeah.
His big problem, I think, is he's blocked by the Red Sox have a full roster, so it's so hard for him to make.
Yeah.
Until there's injuries or people shit the bed.
I think he'll be up by the end of April.
That's a call. Wow.
I don't know. I think somebody. I think that the Red Sox have enough lineup versatility that if somebody goes down, they can bring up whoever they want, and he's the next guy up.
Mm-hmm.
And so when any position player gets injured, I think he's the next guy up, kind of automatically, because you can move what's his name into the infield.
Rafaela, yeah.
Yeah, Rafaela into the infield.
But here, I'm going to pitch something too. I'm going to pitch that I actually think
baseball reference?
Marcelo Meyer. Nope. I think Marcelo Meyer might be called up before Roman Anthony because of his. He's healthy, and he did it in he did it in spring training. He crushed in spring training. He hit the best out of these guys by far. These 3 prospects, the big 3, right? And he looks really good, and he's blocked by Trevor Story, who we know just gets hurt every year. And so Trevor Story is going to get hurt sooner rather than later, and Mayer is the obvious candidate for shortstop, and I see no reason why they won't call him up this year.
I mean, I think both will be up. It just depends on whether or not Mayer or somebody else
gets
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's... If you're not on Twitter, which you shouldn't be, because that is a fucking hellish app, as we all know. But it there's been a long-standing beef between the Yankees fans who like Anthony Volpe and the Red Sox fans who like Marcelo Mayer, and because Volpe didn't win Rookie of the Year, I'm gonna be very mad if Mayer wins Rookie of the Year. Even though Volpe has turned in, he's not as good a hitter yet as you would like, but Gold Glove defender, pretty, valuable play, valuable MLB starter, easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Mayer wins Rookie of the Year, I'm gonna be annoyed because I called him Fraudcello Mayer for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I guess the question is who are the other people? We were talking a little bit earlier about some guys, but who are your other guys who you kind of have towards the back end of this AL top 5?
There's staying in the East, the Orioles, Mayo, and what's his name, Basayo, right?
Yep, Basayo.
They're both in the conversation. Kyle Teal's in the conversation, although I think there's not really enough protection in that lineup for him to exist. Because the White Sox are bad. And who's the pitcher?
Jackson Jobe.
Jackson Jobe. Literally on my list. I can't even read. It's like, where's the pitcher on this list? I know there was a pitcher. I think if there's an AL pitcher, we were talking about this before, is that, like, it feels like the AL has all these hitting prospects and the NL has all these pitching prospects. But that is also what it kind of seemed like last year, except then the AL had a pitcher win Rookie of the Year, and I mean the NL had a pitcher win Rookie of the Year too, but there were all these really great hitters in the National League that, like, people weren't really predicting at the beginning of the year to be that good. But I would put Jobe 3, Anthony 4, Smith 5.
Yeah.
But I could hear arguments to put Smith higher.
Yeah, I mean, I value him.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's why I value him a little higher. But yeah, it seems we have the same top 5 over here, which I don't think is going to be true in the NL. Because I think that last slot is it's a toss up there.
Do you want Anthony above Smith? Or do you want Smith above Anthony?
I think Smith should just be above Anthony, just because he made the opening day. He gets more time to show himself.
Yeah, and we've seen time and time again that it's not actually the top prospects. Not actually.
Wait, Wyatt Langford didn't win Rookie of the Year? Oh, yeah. That's just how it goes.
He was like actually really bad the first half of the year.
Right.
So sad.
And that
Florida legend.
And we expect most of these guys to be bad, probably for the first half of the year. But maybe 1 or 2 of them won't be.
Yes. That's that's pretty much what it's. Picking Rookie of the Year is kind of looking at all these guys, all these rookies that will come up, and predicting which ones won't start the year like shit.
And I guess if I had to guess, we've already seen Campbell struggle a little bit. I think Anthony is he's such a good plate approach guy that it makes a lot of sense, and so does Cam Smith, who's another really rock solid plate approach guy. This is where Dominguez at 1 gets me into a little scared just because of his relative to these other guys slightly higher K rates and stuff. But yeah. I still like.
I mean, we did see him his debut now 2 years back, right?
Yeah, a long time ago. Oh shoot, yeah.
Yeah, and he's still so young. It's crazy. He's gonna be so good. Anyway, yeah, but we saw him come up and just hit a bunch of nukes immediately.
Right.
And get hurt. But we've seen that he can do it. That's that even more than the fact that he's had some big league experience, the fact that the big league experience was positive,
Mm-hmm.
to me bodes well. Um, yeah, so the fucking National League.
And we have the same one, I assume, probably. Oh well, okay. You could argue that it's not one, but it's two. But it's Roki Sasaki.
I'm happy to put Sasaki at one. I'm not sure. I think the top of this list. I think the National League is harder to pick. I think there are a lot
Yes.
of people that have a shot in a
Okay.
way that maybe the American League doesn't have. But always, we also always say that, and it doesn't make any
And that
sense,
doesn't.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I have four guys going in that I
But
think
I'm
are
happy.
like core, and then I have like 10 guys who
Yeah,
could be the fifth.
yeah. I'm happy to put Sasaki
Sasaki
at
up
one.
there. And I think Dylan
Yeah,
Cruz is the other guy who's like really obvious in my head, just because he has the major league experience. He's a college bat, and he stole a ton of bases. He's on the Nationals. He's gonna steal more. He crushes the ball. He looks good. He's a
yeah,
good outfielder. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean,
he's
those
all
are my
yeah,
1, 2 as
yeah,
well.
exactly.
I have Cruz above Sasaki, but
Yeah, I think, and that's actually what I was gonna
I'm
say.
easily persuaded otherwise.
I think I'm okay with
I
Cruz
Yeah,
above Sasaki, for sure. I don't love
but
Sasaki's fastball. The Dodgers will limit
we can. Yeah, we'll switch it. But honestly, the
him.
gap is so small that it doesn't matter very much.
Yeah, if I was betting, which I'm
At
not,
3,
at three, what do you got here? Is it a pitcher or a hitter? Wait, here, I'm going to guess who it is based on whether it's a pitcher or hitter.
it's a pitcher.
You probably have Andrew Painter.
I do in fact have Andrew Painter.
See, I have a different
I
pitcher in my
always have
top
Andrew
four.
Painter.
Yeah, it's always Andrew Painter with you. Give me your case.
Yeah, I. I mean, I think there's. I think if the Phillies are like top of the league by the end of the first month,
Mm-hmm.
he's guaranteed to be in the rotation because I don't think they're going to stick with the bottom half of their rotation through that. I think his stuff is so good and his like approach is like beyond his years. I think he has, you know, fantastic upside, but I also think he has a really high floor
Mm-hmm.
in a way that like I don't think he's gonna come up and like post this 6 ERA for his first 2 months.
Right.
Like I think is possible with a lot of other young hitters. Like I think he could come up and have a sub 4 ERA from the get go and not really have rookie woes in the same way other people do. I'm also just really high on him, and I have been for years because he's been in the minors for too long, and that makes me sad. Because stupid Thomas Jonathan.
Yeah, and I think my big fear with him is that he's not up till the All Star break. And if he's not up till the All Star break, he doesn't have a shot at Rookie of the Year, right? But
Yeah.
that's
Yes,
the
this
big
is the
question
case.
mark. And Ranger Suarez
I'm
being
actually
hurt
happy.
helps him.
Yes,
So
I'm happy to put him at 5 actually,
okay,
but
okay,
I want him on the list.
yeah, for sure. And I guess the pitcher I was thinking of was Bubba Chandler for the Pirates.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
he has similar
Continue.
polish where he has like the beautiful command. He's a fastball slider guy. I mean, I don't think we should expect Paul Skeens from him, but I think we should expect last year's Jared Jones. He should come up. He should be really good, and he's just gonna have the stable floor. The Pirates have a terrible 3-4-5. Sorry, Andrew Heaney. But
Enog.
at some point, he's just gonna in
No, Haney,
start of May or
no.
something. He'll be up, and I just think he should be up earlier than Painter, so that gives him the edge for me. But a Painter is obviously a I'm higher on Painter as a pitcher overall.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that is the thing. Is it really depends on when Painter comes up, and I'm happy
Right.
to take. I think he'll be up because I we were also talking about like Christopher Sanchez lately, and I'm lower on Christopher Sanchez than other people. Um, I saw somebody put him top 50 on TikTok, and I thought that was a little silly.
Top 50
I think his
pitchers?
stuff is just top 50 player.
Oh.
which yeah, I think he's probably the sixth best pitcher in the organization generally, but I also think he is the kind of pitcher that could fall off pretty quickly.
Mhm.
And so, like, I don't know, his K minus BB percent and stuff is pretty middling.
But his velo's up.
Um,
He has a new cutter.
yeah, his velo's up. His velo's up. His injury risk is up. Who knows?
It's true.
I mean, he's pitched what one
Last
solid
year,
one,
that was his
yeah,
first full year.
one full, yeah. Um, yeah, but we get Heen Dog Bump Day on Sunday.
Andrew Heaney.
Very exciting. Yeah, get yourself a cookie.
I mean,
They
I
don't.
probably will
I
actually
am
on
realizing
Sunday.
that they don't. What?
I'll try to do that.
Yeah,
I
get
can get
yourself a
one
cookie.
from the dining hall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always. It's my favorite holiday because it happens a lot, and then you just get to treat yourself to a cookie. Um, I'm not going to explain the joke further than that. But yeah, on Sunday, have a cookie. It's Heen Dog Bump Day. Yeah, it's really fun that it happens every 5 or 6 days when he's in the rotation, which he won't be for long, as we've discussed. Um,
Yeah, who's your fifth name in the
other
top
people
five?
we should talk about.
Yeah, I think there's one that stands out.
Yes, but I just want to know if we want to talk about some of the other people.
Oh, anybody else? Do you want me to like run down some of the other guys I have? I just don't think they're remotely in the same
Yeah,
universe. I mean, Jordan
yeah, yeah,
Lawler. Can Jordan Lawler be good
yeah,
for once if he has the job instead of Perdomo? Maybe. Tirso Ornelas
yep,
for the Padres. If he starts in right field, like, can he crush it? Maybe. But I think he's going to be platooning with Gavin Sheets for a bit. Quinn Matthews for the Cardinals.
yep,
When is he up? Who knows?
yeah,
Drake Baldwin. Sean Murphy's injured at catcher for the Braves. Like, he has to start the season as the catcher. He is really good. Will he keep the catcher role when Murphy's back in a couple weeks? I don't know. And then there's, like, I don't know, Augustin Ramirez or something, right? Like, for the Marlins as a catcher. There's a couple guys like that.
mm,
But a lot of these guys like aren't up already or aren't the same caliber prospect as the guy we were both thinking of, as like the other piece in this list, the Chicago Cub infielder
yeah,
Matt Shaw.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't know if you
Oh,
were
I wanted you to fill it in. I
gesturing at
wanted
me
you to
to
fill it.
say it.
No, no.
You wanted me to fill it in. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think Matt Shaw is the answer. Um, Matthew,
I mean, that's what Cubs
I
fans are
wonder if he
hoping for,
likes
right?
to call him. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I, you know, a fantastic prospect. I expect many good things. I don't really have much more to say.
Nope. He made the
He's
team.
good.
He played in. He went for
Yeah,
like 0 for 12 or something in the the
yeah,
season, the early 3 games, but or 2 games, 3 games. But yeah, he's fine. It's all okay.
um, low key sneaky pick as like the dark horse pick
Okay.
for me.
Yeah.
This
Who's
is
I
my
missing?
like person maybe nobody's expecting, which is Luis Angel Acuna.
That's a great call.
He made the opening day roster with the Mets. McNeil has looked so bad, like he could get playing time, and hit 300. And if the other people don't pan out super well, he's a guy that could come out of nowhere and kind of win it. I
Uh,
mean, I think he's a top 100 prospect. Is he still a top
you're
100
missing. So
prospect?
here's the
He was.
information. You're missing something that even helps your argument even better. The reason he's made this roster is because McNeil had an oblique strain kind of earlier in camp,
Oh, I forgot
and
about that.
so
Yeah, I didn't
Acuna
see that.
and Beatty have been fighting for that second base spot, and Acuna won it.
Yeah.
So he just gets to go. Um, I see nothing standing in his way. That's a
I didn't
really good
realize that
shout.
McNeil was hurt. Yeah. Um, and then I know you're also really high on Dalton Rushing. Again, probably not going to be up early enough to make that, but really good.
Yeah, he's a beast. But yeah. The when you're a Dodger and they are gonna go out and sign like Who'd they get? They got I'm blanking. Teoscar Hernandez in the outfield. And they signed Michael Conforto to like that's like your platoon. They're gonna sign like three extra outfielders. They're gonna sign like a full bench worth of players. And then like if you're a prospect on the Dodgers AAA team could be an MLB team. It's like what I've been saying about the Orioles for years. It stinks. So I feel sorry for
Yeah,
him because maybe he'll come up towards the end of the season, but like it's just hard to get in that
yeah,
major league roster.
yeah. I mean, what do you think about relegation? Should we relegate the White Sox and bring up the Dodgers AAA team?
We can't relegate the White Sox because they have too many exciting young pitchers.
This is true. Okay, what about? No, I was gonna say the Marlins, but that's the same thing.
They both do the same thing. Let's
Um,
relegate the Los Angeles Angels.
yes, they have no future.
There we go.
Yeah, make them trade Mike Trout, and even though he has a no trade clause, and yeah, send him down. And yeah, maybe Logan O'Hoppe will win the AAA Most Valuable Player award.
And
Or oh, Taylor Ward.
yeah, Taylor Ward. Yeah, and then you can hear more
Oh, is
about
he still?
our suggestions to fix the league on some future episode sometime in the future.
Yes, we will do that as soon as people start complaining that the league is dead and boring. We'll do an episode where we talk about how we can fix the league,
Hint,
and how it's all capitalism's fault.
hint. It's an international solution.
Yes, international solution and make games free. That's the
Bring the
easy.
Green Bay Packers to the MLB.
Go Pack, go.
Okay, so we kind of have our five. I think so. Painter at five, and then Shaw slots in at four or three. It doesn't really matter. It's the same thing. Him and
Yeah,
Chandler three,
yeah,
four.
yeah. That's what I got on here
Perfect.
currently.
Then do we want to go ahead? I think next on our agenda we had the most improved awards, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. That might not have been.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So now we're gonna imagine that they have a comeback player award, don't they?
Comeback of the year. Do they have it in the MLB? I might have missed that.
I think so.
Okay.
Didn't they give it? I feel like they gave it to Liam Hendricks at some point.
Oh shoot,
Like
yeah, because he came back from cancer, and
that's the
Tommy
only
John
time I've
surgery.
ever. But we're gonna talk about both of those awards. We're
Okay.
gonna like think about who it could probably be.
Okay.
Yeah, and hope nobody gets shot mid-season and then comes back in the same season or dies on the field. Like what's his name, Damar Hamlin, or the other guy. There's actually a baseball example, but I forgot his name.
The baseball example happened before the. I mean, that was dead ball era, right? That was the pre-batting
Yes,
helmets. Okay, I was like, you're not
yes,
thinking of yeah, you weren't thinking of like baseball things to honor dead players, like the Angels guy, or like uh like Jose
yeah,
Fernandez.
yeah.
Not
James
that.
got the Jose Fernandez jersey on.
I'm forever grateful that Bartolo Colon decided to groove a fastball to D Gordon so he could hit a home run like the first at bat of that game because that was a great tribute. But that's the thing people don't remember
Yeah,
is that Bartolo just throws a meatball. Great
a
guy
man of the
Bartolo.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason he's my favorite steroid user.
And whereas mine is like I don't know. I was gonna say Aaron Judge, but
My favorite one is actually Arnold Schwarzenegger because of his politics.
probably my favorite California governor.
Thoughts on Reagan?
Oh god, all these like movie star folks, they all moved
Yeah,
in. Populists.
Bedtime for Bonzo.
Ugh.
We did a, a statistics project. The first year intro statistics at
Mm-hmm.
the school we go to. They do this thing where you pick 10 movies from, or is it 15, 20, some number of movies from an actor's filmography, and you plot them by like how much they made by um like Rotten Tomatoes score, and then
Right.
you put them in colored groups by another variable of your choosing. And everybody else was picking movie stars, and I thought it would be really funny to pick Ronald Reagan movies, but it is actually very difficult to find box office numbers for movies from the 40s. But I eventually
Oh,
did, and it
from the
was funny.
40s. That's crazy that Reagan like acted in the 40s. Oh, I was always like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, Reagan acted in like the 60s, the eight, like you forget like when he was president. To
No,
oh
he was
God,
in movies during World War II. Um,
wow,
pre-war too.
that's
Yeah,
messed up. And then he was the president.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Well, he came to political prominence by being in charge of the Screen Actors Guild, and then
Ugh.
he met Nancy, and she was like, "You know what you should do? You should become evil." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm already sort of evil. I'll become super evil." And then he became super evil, and then America was like, "You know what we hate even more than people that are super evil? Communists." And then they made him president, and then he got dementia and sold and traded weapons for hostages.
There's your political history for tonight. We'll probably get into politics
Yeah.
even more when we bring up one of our players, one of our favorite New York Mets, who's a one of our non All Star players who will probably come up.
Yes, we'll talk about that later.
Because baseball
Um,
is one of those sports. Actually, it's like most of the sports where many of the players have terrible politics.
yeah, I think it is worse in baseball because there is a certain vibe for. I mean, I think it's less true for people that come overseas, but like it feels like with baseball more so than other ones, it really draws from a sort of rural middle class,
Gunnar
like
Henderson.
yeah, rural people with disposable income,
Yep.
like both like baseball and can afford to send their kids to travel ball, and that's not necessarily the case with other sports. Um, yeah, and so there's a lot of white racist people, and yeah,
Oh wait, this is a
tap
great.
dance and reference.
This is a yeah, but this is a great
Oh,
opportunity for us to segue into our. I don't know. We wanted to bring up the Jackie Robinson thing, right, on the Department of Defense website.
oh right, yeah. I didn't set up the graphs in time,
No, no, I
but yeah,
mean,
yes. No, I know. Yeah, so if you didn't hear, and it's been kind of big news in the baseball world, but I there may be people who are watching this that aren't on Twitter, as you should be. Don't get on Twitter. Um, the or I guess it was probably on the news too. I don't
yeah,
watch you know,
it might have been a Passan bomb
CBS.
too. Honestly, I'm not sure, but it
Yeah,
was.
I'm not sure, but was it the Arlington Cemetery website?
Yeah, it was a whole.
Uh, removed their page about Jackie Robinson because it was DEI, which I guess technically is true, but he was also a veteran of World War II, and in my opinion, the best second baseman of all time. That's what all the graphs were about. Was I was going to be talking about how he's the best second baseman of all time, and it's only sort of close. But um, yeah, they. Oh boy, does this administration hate black people. It's
Yeah,
fucking scary.
they took it off the Department of Defense website, and he was what, like a
Yeah,
second lieutenant in the army. He served in World
yeah.
War II. Like,
They did try to dishonorably discharge him though,
oh,
um, because he didn't like that they were having segregated buses in the army, which, like, obviously, segregated buses anywhere, bad idea. Yeah. So he did kind of the same thing that Rosa Parks and fuck, it's bad I've forgotten her name. It was a sort of semi-common thing to get mad at as the first step. But yeah, they tried to dishonorably discharge him and actually failed because, uh, even when the United States is being evil, it sometimes is being evil too incompetently to actually work. Sadly, it doesn't happen enough, and they're just incompetent and evil, and they don't get in the way of each other. But in that case, he was honorably discharged or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, and he's been put back, like the kind of bio about him and stuff has been put back on the DoD website. But the thing that I've seen discussed at other places as well is that like MLB has taken all the kind of diversity, equity, inclusion language off of their website. Um, and I mean we're seeing this everywhere, right? But it's it's a thing within baseball as well that they're I don't know what if any federal funding. I guess maybe some like national broadcasting kind of stuff that the MLB might get that they're like worried about, and it's not even that. It's not even. I don't think it's a real funding worry for them. I think it's that they're not a college. It's a we don't want to be on the wrong side of this administration, so we're not going to do the right thing, and we're gonna yeah.
Um, there, I'll see if I can remember to link it below. But there was this article that I think was an interview with an umpire, and he was talking about like I don't know, like anybody who thinks that racism is no longer a part of sports needs to read this article because it's so just absolutely apparent that like Major League Baseball has a race problem and it like does not do a good job of being equitable and like like allowing black umpires and like all the at all the levels at all the staffing levels to have the opportunities that they should. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. And there's all sorts of, you know, a lot of different other examples, but that article was really fantastic. And so it is, and it did sort of feel like for a little bit we were making some sort of progress. They've been putting more and more people from black baseball in the Hall of Fame, and they're getting more recognition. Um,
We had the
you
series
know,
at the um, Negro
yeah,
League
yeah, yeah.
Stadium and stuff last year, right? Or like the game between what the Giants and White Sox. But they like wore like
I don't
Negro League
remember,
uniforms and
but
they had all
yes,
this kind of
yeah,
stuff honoring these players, right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
really do think that when they make some new expansion teams, which I'm sure will continue to happen, they bring back some of those old names. I mean, obviously, I don't think you can call a team the Atlanta Black Crackers anymore, but you can do the Crawfords and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I, yeah,
Yeah, it feels like
um,
this discussion too is going to be an important part of our
yes,
how to fix
but like,
baseball discussion. It's
yeah,
not just like
because
where baseball is, but it's even within the states what can we be doing better to include more people in our sport?
mhm, yeah, and I think because now we live in a place where baseball sort of doesn't have a huge place in American pop culture.
Yep.
There aren't. You know, we have many friends who can't name a single baseball player. You know, it's because of that we sort of forget how much it was a part of American life for decades and decades, and because of that, it was just interlinked so much with. I mean, all the parts of American society, but in this case specifically, you know, the movements for racial equality and and Jackie Robinson was not only like a hero in the baseball community. Like there are other kinds of heroes in sort of baseball. I'm thinking about Kurt Flood specifically, where he's uh, like he was labor. He was about, he sort of sacrificed his Hall of Fame like trajectory career in order to allow players more freedom and like have bargaining power for the players. And that's great, and I love Kurt Flood, but like his cultural impact doing that is nowhere near what Jackie Robinson was. Um, like Martin Luther King Jr. said that he couldn't have done it without what Jackie did, and uh, in Malcolm X's autobiography, he writes about filling in his scorecard and calculating Jackie Robinson's batting average, because obviously they didn't really have computers to do that very well at that point, and so he was calculating his batting average by hand from the scorecards that they put out every after every game in the paper. And he was looking up to Robinson, and like you read that in like 2 paragraphs in Malcolm X's autobiography, and you're like, you sort of realize that this is not just a sports issue. This is like a national issue, and he is such a hero, as well as just a fantastic baseball player. And it's absolutely criminal to remove his fucking like to just stop talking about him as though he's not. I don't know. I'm not. I don't love the phrase American hero, but if there is one, it's Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, and just an integral part of
That's my rant.
U.S. history. No, yeah.
Okay, now we'll actually talk about most improved and come back.
Oh yeah. Well, so before our little sidebar, um, as we're going to think about kind of most improved players. So we were kind of um, our guidelines here where we were looking at players who'd had 3 or more years in the major leagues or so. Oh, wrong thing.
Oh,
That's the other thing. That's the other thing. Sorry.
wrong thing? Wrong
Wrong
thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Most improved. And we're just looking at guys what they do last season and who do we think is going to be most improved this year?
Who can make the jump from player to star or from star to superstar, I guess is the
Yep.
what we're looking at. Who can go from to good and from good to great, or from good to great, or from to great, as we may
And I guess
learn.
I'll toss a hat in the ring with a homer pick here, which is Red Sox opening day center fielder Ceddanne Rafaela. Last year he was made to play shortstop and outfield. He was like a fine to bad. He was like a fine to shortstop and a really good center fielder.
Spelling his name wrong.
And then yeah, you are. And then if you give him an everyday role in center field, I mean his hitting's just going to improve.
Right.
Oh, but you spelled his first name wrong. Did you get the D's and the N's the right number?
I actually didn't write his first name at all. But
okay. Well, there you go.
I would have spelled it wrong.
The big question mark for him has been how much is he going to strike out because he swings at everything. But in spring training this year, we've seen him cut his strikeout rate a lot with his new swing. And kind of he's been really focusing on that kind of improvement. And he's always going to be a free swinger. It's just a question of how much is he going to make contact when he's doing that. He's a ridiculously athletic person. And so it's just like, can we keep that K rate from being kind of above 30%? If we can keep it at like 25% or less the rest of the season, which is kind of what it looks like from spring training, if you can have an everyday role in center field, I mean, you have an elite defensive center fielder who is going to hit 20 home runs and steal 20 bases.
Yeah. I like it. Good pick. I think 4.5 WAR is like an extremely reasonable projection, and that's you're getting into borderline all-star territory. I like the pick. My next pick, we've talked about this. I don't think we talked about it last week, but we talked about it off air.
Yeah.
And that is Kyle Higashioka.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. He had actually, I think, his best hitting season last year. In terms of like WRC plus, he had a 105, which is the best of his career.
Right.
He only played 84 games. And his defense not as good as it's been in the past, although he's still a plus defender. But you look at his um like StatCast numbers and his batted ball numbers. 40% hard hit rate, 44% medium hit rate, 52% pulled fly ball rate, 52% fly ball rate, 52% pulled rate, 52% fly ball rate. I
Right.
mean, that's just
Yeah.
exactly what you want for a guy that's, I mean, his max exit velo is, 109. It's fine. But it's the best. You want him to have a higher launch angle. He's got like a 20-degree launch angle, average launch angle. Not that, yeah. He's only got like an 11% barrel rate. It's fine, but like those stats really give me hope that he can like go from kind of decent backup catcher to like very solid everyday player that doesn't have to bat ninth in every lineup.
Yeah, I love it. The big question is like how much playing time is he going to get him? And I mean, we think Jonah Heim. I think we talked about this earlier, but do we think Jonah Heim's kind of be a better catcher this year as well?
Yes,
Not as
we'll
bad
talk
as
about
last year.
Anaheim in the bounce back sections.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there you go. So, um, but yeah, love Higgy. I guess I have another AL pick. I have a bunch. I don't know how many
Yeah.
kind of we're
I
looking at here,
hope
but
I hope I put on the screen at this point the picture of him in the World Baseball Classic. Yeah. Um. Yeah. He called a perfect game. It's all on him. He did a perfect game. Anyway, sorry I interrupted you.
uh, the other guy who was really coming to mind here was Christopher Morel, um, who was a
Yeah.
big part of the kind of trade between the Cubs and the Rays that we saw. Um,
And on a similar note, Isaac Paredes for sort of similar reasons.
yeah,
Also not very good last year,
but should be better this
that's
year.
a little bit more of a bounce back than
I mean, Morel
Morel,
was
but
atrocious. I mean, he had like a sub 200
yes,
batting average. I mean, he
yeah,
had like his BABIP was 233. I mean, if you think Christopher Morel is like gonna be have a 233 BABIP every year, then I mean, you can tell me that he's gonna be bad. But I mean, there's no way that's gonna happen. He's a young guy. He's
yeah,
gonna have a better season,
yeah,
and he's in Steinberger Field.
yeah. No, I think he 30 home runs. I mean, he could still hit 200 and hit 30
I mean, yeah, but I really think he's
of plus.
probably more of a 220, 230 hitter, and
Yeah,
that's going to be like a 110, almost maybe a 120 WRC plus. Like he's going to be legit.
yeah.
So that's my
Agreed.
improved their AL player there.
I didn't do a good job of writing down my players. Do you want to talk about somebody else, and I'll
Yeah, can I
try to
throw it to the
remember who I
NL?
was
Can I
going to talk
switch
about?
my
Yeah, yeah,
leagues?
yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna choose a pitcher because I think this is kind of fun.
Yeah,
I have Nestor Cortez on my list. Nasty
that's
Nestor
yeah.
traded to the Brewers. I know the Yankees pitching lab is good. The Brewer pitching lab is one of the only ones I think that's up there with them. And what they've been doing in spring training is they're having him throw more of his changeups. Nestor's always been really, really good at locating his stuff,
Which
and he throws pretty
yes,
slow.
which is yeah. The changeup is the thing that I had been wanting him to throw more
Right.
because it works well.
It's what he needs. He's so consistent in his command. It's just and like he has like a low velo fastball, so he has to be able to kind of like make things work with really pinpointing his stuff. And it looks like that's what he's doing. As it's a bet on health, but as long as he's on the field, I think the Brewers are going to make something special of him. And he has what Contreras behind the dish. I mean, and he has a great infield for him. He's gonna look great out there.
Yeah. I in a similar vein,
Yeah.
and I'm not actually sure which one it'll be, but I'm expecting a red starter to make a big jump, partly from just like being able to work with a really good defensive catcher and not Tyler Stevenson and who was their backup last year?
I don't know who their
I don't
backup last year
remember.
was, but I mean, yeah.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. Like they haven't really had a great defensive catcher in a few years, and they have a very young pitching staff, and they just don't really have a battery mate that they can really work with, and he'll get a lot of playing time, and I just expect that to be a boost to somebody, and I don't really know which one it's gonna be. I don't even have
I mean, Hunter Green
it
is like
open.
he's starting so much harder. I
Yes,
think we talked
but
about it
like
last episode.
he
He could
already
be an
really
ace.
broke out.
Yeah, but he could go from like
Yeah,
this level to like Cy Young, so like that level of guy.
yeah,
But then
but I
other,
don't. I think at that point, like
yeah.
he had what? What was his?
I mean, he might have had like a 3 WAR season or something. So
Yeah, I think he was. I can't spell. I put two N's in Hunter Green, which a classic, by the way. Um, I mean, he had like a B WAR pitching season last year.
yep.
Like, I don't. I think if you put up a season that good, it's not gonna count
Okay. Then you're
as
looking at
a
your Andrew Abbott's, your Nick Lodolos, your
yeah.
oh, who else is there? Nick Martinez. They traded
Nick
for Brady
Martinez.
Singer. They have some prospects: Chase
Yeah,
Petty, Tink Hence,
yeah.
and Brett Lauder. So someone there's tons of fun
I
arms
think
there.
somebody overperforms
Okay.
by. I mean, like you look at the impacts that great defensive catchers, and I don't think Trevino is like Yadier Molina good or Jeff Mathis good or Jose Molina good, but he's a very good defensive catcher in terms of pitch calling and framing, and that is a huge help, especially to young developing pitchers.
Yeah.
And I think we underrate that. And so this is sort of a Jose Trevino pick, but I don't think his I don't. There's no reason to suspect his offense. To me, there's no reason to suspect his offensive numbers will get better, except Great American Ballpark, Great American Small Park bullshit. But I'm gonna put him on the list anyway, and we'll remember what that means.
Yeah. Do you want to go from this into kind of some of our those were some
Yeah. So that's
most improved. Do you want to think about
three.
the injury list kind of guys
Yeah.
coming back?
That those are we. Our list has three former Yankees.
Hell yeah. It's just, I mean, okay, a guy who we don't have to get into it, but I do have Paul Goldschmidt on my most improved player list. The quick sell is
Yeah.
that he dropped like 5% walk rate last year, and I just don't think that'll happen. He should hit better. He's in a better lineup with protection. I mean, he's in Yankee Stadium. A bunch of reasons that he should have a better year this year. So there's my going to the
Yeah.
Yankees is going to help him. There you go.
Yeah. And I mean his approach is not the kind of thing that's gonna dramatically fall off with age. Like that doesn't necessarily dramatically fall off with age. And so like if there's somebody that can have a bounce back this late in career,
He's 37.
currently in the league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's old. I hear him called Old Schmidt.
We said it at this age. Classic. There's a reason we're doing this podcast together, and it's because we both are stupid and make jokes like that at the same time.
Yeah. So I guess going for most improved, we're gonna think about what did you term the other one? Is it bounce back?
Comeback player of the year.
Comeback,
Comeback.
which is like coming
Oh,
back
we
from
saw injury,
coming back from
and
injury.
then bounce back.
Okay.
So whatever. There's a lot of different things that sound slightly similar, but just like who's coming off injury and gonna do the best. And I think there's like 3 or 4 easy answers, and so we'll kind of breeze through this.
Okay.
And those are
The big pitchers.
Jacob DeGrom,
Yep.
Shane McClanahan.
Yeah, but now he has that whole injury thing, so we'll TBD on him.
Yeah, but I
He might be out for the season. We'll see. It's nerve damage. We'll see what happens.
He might be out for 2 weeks, and it won't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shohei Ohtani, pitcher Ohtani.
Yep.
Sandy
Alcantara is a good one. We'll see tomorrow.
That's the big one.
I don't think you mentioned Spencer Strider.
I forgot about Strider.
He seems like a good top 5 pitcher in baseball who's also back. We have a lot of those this season. That's like 3 former top 5 pitchers.
Yeah.
I think I'm all in on the Robbie Ray is back on the Giants with a changeup he learned from Tariq Skubal. Like, yeah. I mean, he looks insane. I guess the hitter side, Ronald Acuna Jr. will be back in like sometime in May. You were talking about the team earlier from the pitching side. How about from the hitting side? The Cincinnati Reds offense. I mean, pick your guy, Christian Encarnacion Strand. Maddie. Or even better, a much better player. I mean, Matt McLean is back.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Maddie.
Yeah.
Maddie. I'm not sure that that's a name he goes by, but that's what I've always called him. Maddie.
So there's some injured guys. They'll be back.
Yeah. Not super interesting.
But it'll be interesting tomorrow because we'll get to see some of these guys pitch.
Everybody laugh at James because they didn't. They don't get to see the joke I put in on the notes app while I was writing this. That's on the screen right now, but James hasn't seen it, so they don't know what's going on. Because James can't see my notes app because we don't really know how to film this yet, and so.
But we're figuring it out.
And so James will have to see it with the rest of you. All right, bounce back time.
And for this, we were kind of looking at, I guess here are parameters. We were looking at hitters and pitchers who are aged 28 or older. They've been in the major leagues for a while, or they're old, and they had to have.
They debuted before 2022 or before.
Yeah.
Which kind of shockingly means they will have played in 3 major league seasons.
Yeah, that's weird. And they had negative F4 last year.
In 2025, yeah.
Or in 2024, yeah. And whatever our quality, we said like 300 plate appearances or 50 innings pitched or something. Yeah. So there were 22 hitters and 23 pitchers, or 21 hitters and 23 pitchers. Like that. Yeah.
That had negative F4.
And I think the hitter side looked better.
Yes, I agree. And I think we both agree on who, if there was a bounce back player of the year, which is somehow different from comeback player of the year.
Right.
I think we both have the same 1-1.
And it's Adolis Garcia.
It's Adolis Garcia.
I mean,
you want to talk about him?
Sure. It's just a health question. I mean, last year he was struggling with his health, and if he's healthy, and even if he's striking out 35% of the time, which maybe he will because he's old, he still hits 25 home runs. He's in a ridiculous Rangers lineup. It's like a slow pitch softball lineup. That's what I've been calling it. So, I mean, he's a beast. And he's also one of the worst
Um,
defensive outfielders we've seen in the game, but it shouldn't really matter. He'll still be a positive,
no,
a boon to his team.
yeah. I
Not an
mean, he's
Aaron
fucking
Boone.
jacked.
It's true.
There, every time he comes into spring training, and you just see absolutely jacked Adolis Garcia.
Did you see
Yeah. I mean,
Luis Rengifo?
I didn't,
He's
but I
huge.
believe it.
He's yoked. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm looking up a picture right now.
He
You'll
came into
have to
spring
stop
training.
me from. Yeah,
It's a good look. I don't know.
you'll
I
have
love.
to.
This is my favorite baseball thing. It's like the he's in the best shape of his life. I love.
Yes, it is really.
It's the best part of the season is when everybody gets to be in the best shape of their life. Even Alec Manila. And I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna kill time. I'm gonna talk about more best shape of the life. I mean, sometimes we see guys that are like, oh, they dropped 20 pounds. Lance Lynn, that's what he said. I dropped 20 pounds. I'm in the best shape of my life. Um, I don't know that Chaz McCormick on the Astros said I'm in the best shape of my life. I love this. I'm in the best shape of my life too. I mean, going going to the gym on break. We're living the good life here. I went skiing the other day and I didn't even feel sore afterwards.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me go skiing with them. By the way,
Terrible.
it was not allowed. I felt left out, even though I can't ski. But that's a
As
Rengifo
a
feeling good and ready to go for whatever Angels need.
East
That
Coaster
sounds like a
too.
good.
Yeah, it's good, right?
I am failing to find
You
a
can't find them. I'll,
photograph.
don't worry. I have a photo saved on my phone, and I'll send
Okay,
it to you
it will
later.
probably be better because then I can.
Yeah,
Uh,
take a look
yeah,
before bed. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
help you sleep well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I feel like blood flowing not actually helpful, conducive to sleep. But you do you. Um, I feel like Stanton comes in and is like best shape of my life every year,
Not
but
this
he's
year.
hurt this year, so not this year.
He was like, I came in and I'm hurt in this elbow. Oh no! Oh, my other elbow's hurt too. Oh shit! I need surgery on both of them.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a slapstick comedy routine. He just keeps happening to run into like stepping on rakes, but instead of coming up and hitting him in the face, like hit him in the elbow.
Well, we talked about this last episode, but Anthony Rendon, I found out today that his surgery has him out for the season. So he waited until spring training to be like, "Hey guys, I need surgery." Oh shit, I'm out for the whole fucking season this time. He was like, "Oh, I really hate baseball so much that I'm not even gonna like I'm just gonna wait until it starts so I can just like not have to do it anymore." I mean that's a masterclass.
Tony Wage there. That's my guy.
I mean,
He's really a working class hero if you think about it.
well, he really just doesn't want to play for the Los Angeles Angels, and neither do I.
Yeah, but he gets to live in LA.
I mean, he gets all the perks, right?
Like he gets to live in LA. I mean, maybe he doesn't like driving all the way out to Anaheim every time, but you know, I can. Yeah,
Oh, we've talked too much about
yeah,
the Angels today. Sorry.
yeah. Yeah. Did was it before we got on call that we were talking about relegating the Angels? I
No,
think
no,
that
that
was
was
before
on the podcast. Nope.
we already talked about that.
Yeah, it's already been brought up.
Am I just that dumb? I thought we were talking about that before we started recording. Okay, we're gonna go to other picks. I like Jonah Heim to be like not a negative WAR player this year, but I think that's not super interesting. I'm
Rowdy
looking at the
Telez.
list to
Rowdy
see,
Telez. He's going to be the
yeah, who
DH
could
for the
actually be
Mariners.
good.
He's a beast. He's one of my favorite
Yeah,
baseball players. I love that he's there. His name's awesome.
yeah,
He looks awesome.
big boy.
I love a big boy.
Yeah, he really looks like his name is Rowdy.
I What can you say? Um,
Yeah, if I were to draw a cartoon character named Rowdy, it would look a lot like Rowdy Telez.
who else is
And
on there?
I might do just that. I might send, I
Oh,
might, after it's
wait.
done.
Wait, that's a great point. Speaking of cartoons, I'm gonna hold this up in my front of my face. It's on the back of a It's on like the third page of some insurance paperwork from old insurance paperwork. But you asked that I do a Chris Bassett drawing because we were talking about kind of our um, we were talking about attractive baseball players at the end of the episode, and he came up. And I sent it to you, so you might have to actually overlay it on the screen. I'm gonna try to hold it up in front of
Yes.
my camera and see how visible it is. But
Yes.
this is Chris
Yes.
Bassett.
Yes. Yes.
I drew him,
Yes.
and it looks like
Yes.
his 2025 new image that was kind of on MLB and ESPN and stuff. So there you go.
Yes.
That's our
Chris
NFT,
Bassett drawing.
but not NFTs because we don't
Yeah.
support NFTs.
Yeah. Yeah. You can. Yeah. There's not any way to win, but if you do win, that's the prize you get. I can't actually remember what the contest was. We said somebody could win it. I don't remember exactly how we said somebody could win it.
We hadn't
But
figured it out.
yeah. I have a bad memory as we're already seeing. Heimer Candelario.
I love him. I mean, he should be a league average bat, right? As long as he's
Yeah.
not, as like it's just an injury question. I like him there. I mean, other corner infielders, Ty France, Josh Bell. These are guys. I mean, Seth Brown. A bunch of these guys I love. I think a lot of them
Yeah.
are kind of should be around the league average. It's like a lot of these guys are like
Where's
they should be
Brandon
league
Fisher?
average. He is with the Minnesota Twins, and guess what? Royce Lewis is already hurt, so he's gonna get to play a corner infield slot.
Classic.
Yep. Ty France at first, Jose Miranda at third. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. We were talking about this. We went to we got dinner before we started filming, and I was saying I should let me own the Twins. I would fix them immediately. And what I would do is just a complete rehaul of the training staff. Just get them all the fuck out of there and bring in somebody new.
Yeah, all the strength and conditioning coaches, goodbye. We can keep the pitching development staff, but we need someone who can teach them how to not pull a hamstring every time they walk to first base.
Yeah.
What did it?
Or
Wait,
we just invest in like robotic limbs. You just like send a ton of money to MIT and be like, please show us how to cure plantar fasciitis with robots.
instead of like those
And they'll be
police
like,
fucking
"Hey,
dogs that
Carlos
they work
Correa."
on. Yeah, instead of
Yeah.
like those freaky like security whatever cyber state crap that they're
Yep. Infinitely better use of money. Yeah, it's the meme. It's the fucking double meme where somebody's like, no, and it's police. Yes. Robots for fixing Carlos Correa. I have Carlos Correa in fantasy. Please be healthy.
What was that drink you got called? Because it had a cool drink name. You
The
introduced me to
Ramos Gin Fizz.
the wait. Say it again. Say it again.
Ramos Gin Fizz.
Oh,
Elliot Ramos Gin Fizz.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's such an awesome name, and it looked really pretty, and it tasted good, right? All the good things.
Yeah. Don't order it if it's not on the menu.
Yeah, that's rude.
Yes. It takes like 15 minutes to make, and it hurts your arms. But the place we went had an automatic drink shaker, so they just put the shaker in this machine, and it went up and down and up and down. And so I didn't even have to like feel bad about ordering a Ramos Gin Fizz, because normally you have to shake it for like 10 minutes.
And it tasted fantastic.
It was really
Yeah, like what a great idea.
It's yeah, only make it at home. There's plenty of recipes online. Or, and drink responsibly. Yeah, don't. The nice thing about a Ramos Gin Fizz is that you're not going to have multiple of them.
No, they're kind of
You
like
just don't have.
yeah.
Just
not
like
doing that
from
work.
an arm strength perspective, yeah. Like after you've had one, you're then not going to want to make another one, and you're definitely not going to have more than two.
Do you want to look at the pitching side real quick? Yeah, right. Reminder.
I want to sneaky shout out Joey Meneses.
Oh, I didn't even
Sneaky shout out Joey Meneses.
That's an awesome call.
I just and that's more hope than anything else. I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen nothing from him that approaches being better, but like year one Joey Meneses was fantastic, and I really want him to do that again. I'm more out of hope than anything else. But yeah. Pitcher time.
pitchers. The really, really, really obvious call here, which is like the one guy I thought is kind of a slam dunk, is Walker Buehler. I mean, he's going to be
Yeah.
on the Red Sox. He's not going to be awful like he was last year. He'll at least be kind of like a league average pitcher for the Sox. The Red Sox pitching lab is some devil magic with Andrew Bailey, and they'll make him work and throw his fastball less. And I mean, I heard, okay, Red Sox stats put out a post today that said that apparently some of like the behind the so the public facing data looks fine for Bueller, but there's some kind of some of the Red Sox internal data doesn't look great on his pitches and stuff right now. But I still think he'll pitch a bunch and
Yeah,
be
I
fine.
think better than negative WAR.
Exactly.
I I think very very safe to pick.
Did anyone else
Um,
appeal to you on this list? Um,
I think there's chances for other people.
yeah,
I
give
don't
me some
hate
shout
Chris
outs first.
Miley.
Oh, okay. I love his name.
I think he could be like decent. Um, uh, Ryan Yarbrough.
I mean, have you heard his nickname?
Not very.
This is another Nick Pollock nickname. This is it's the Fratty Pirate
Why?
because it sounds like a pirate that's like in a fraternity because his name's Ryan, and then Yarborough because it's like a yeah. So, and he's the new
Oh, that's
New
actually
York
good. I
Yankee.
like that.
Isn't that a great nickname? Yeah.
I think I sent you a TikTok that was like, you know how in MLB they're doing all those like really dumb nicknames where they're like Jason Tatum is the anomaly and Santi Aldama's the trolley problem and
I mean, okay,
all that
come on,
stuff.
that one's good.
Yeah, no, they're like some of them are actually good, but yeah, Shaden Sharp, the abnormality,
Yeah, but
Blazers shooting guard of the future.
tell the crowd your Shaden Sharp nickname.
Oh yeah, well it's not, it's less of a,
It's less of a nickname, more of a
well
thing
I
you
guess
say.
I guess make it into a nickname, but like kind of a slogan for Shaden Sharp,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a Game of Thrones quote. I think it's in the books too. But stick him with the pointy end because his last name's Sharp. Stick him with the pointy end, and then you could call him the pointy end. His name's Shaded Sharp, and I think that's pretty baller. And he like sticks him with the pointy end a lot, and he just dunks it. He's he's so much fun to watch. He'll be good, but he's not quite there yet. But he's definitely fun to watch. Um,
I
yeah,
mean, it's been an episode and a half, and we haven't even like talked about the new best nickname in baseball. John Tinkson Garcia of the Boston Red Sox, that Double-A minor leaguer of ours, has the nickname the Password, and you guessed it. It's because you can't spell his first name, and neither can I. And isn't that wonderful? Um,
yeah.
and I think someone said I think he has a kid brother as well who's in lower minors, and they give him a nickname like the username or something. They give him some other kind of crap. Like, it's awesome. It's really awesome. So
That's really fun. Yeah, I mean we've had some resurgent baseball nicknames. I mean, Big Christmas had that
oh, that's such a good one.
home run in that one's really fun. I really liked last year the Mimi one, Shoeless Jose when Altuve lost his shoe on that one play. I want to keep that one going.
Well, and
Um,
a line that's been really well. I mean, okay, I'm just thinking about this because I'm thinking about baseball and I'm thinking about baseball songs. But there's a song about Kennesaw Mountain Landis, the commissioner of baseball, the first commissioner of
yeah,
baseball. There's a song about him and kind of what he did to
also
Shoeless
perfect.
Joe. I'll have to send you this song. But it's a
Yeah,
Jonathan Colton song, and he talks about Joe Jackson in it and how Shoeless Joe Jackson. I don't know if you know about Joe Jackson, the musician who sings like "Steppin' Out" or
yeah.
yeah. So he makes a
I
joke
don't know
about
anything about
how Joe
the
Jackson,
biography, but
right, how Joe Jackson is like a washed up. He ends up being like this washed up singer who never wins a Grammy after failing out of his baseball career because of Kennesaw Mountain Landis, and it's a great. I'll send it to you. It's a great song.
yeah. I can't believe he got accused of throwing a series where he had like a 900 OPS.
And I mean, perhaps the biggest white person who's been left out of the Hall of Fame. The biggest one. Perhaps the biggest one.
I mean Clemens, but yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about Charlie Keller and Charlie Dennett in the future, but I think they are both behind Shoeless Joe.
Yep. Charlie Keller. Mitch Keller is a pitcher on the
David Bednar.
Pirates, and yep, we thought the same thing. David Bednar, can he bounce back from his mental health issues that he's been struggling with? I think the answer is, I actually don't want to try to answer that question, but his command looks walking in spring training still, and it's really sad.
Look, he can come have some of my mental health medicine. I'm pointing to where they are, but you obviously can't see them. They're off the screen, but they're over there.
They're over there.
You can have some of my Wellbutrin.
Oh, my boring pick, the last guy on this list who I have anything nice to say about is Luke Jackson. He, according to Bruce Bochy, who basically Bruce Bochy said, our bullpen is gonna kind of look like what we've had during the end of spring training here, this like most recent game. And this most recent game, it was Luke Jackson as the closer for the Rangers. If you haven't heard of him, that's okay. I hadn't either. I think was a better pitcher like 5 years ago. He had a really great K-BB in camp. He's going to be the Rangers closer, and so probably will have some positive value this year. That's my deep cut.
Rangers closer.
Instead of Chris Martin, all their guys are old.
Retirement home. Do people retire to Arlington? Maybe they retire to Arlington, Virginia. I don't think people retire to Arlington, Texas. I don't want to live.
I hope that Democrats retire to Arlington, Texas, but
I hope the Democrats retire into their rightful place in hell.
Chuck Schumer, one of my favorite all-time favorite Democrats.
Yeah. New York State legend. Yeah. I think that's it for our rookies.
Our rookies?
Breakouts and bounce backs.
Oh yeah, for
rookies,
like our normal
breakouts, bounce backs. I mean, we'll talk about it more in the TikTok section.
TikTok time.
Brings us to TikTok time. TikTok time. Again, we're shouting out the goats over at the Deep 3.
I even watched like an episode of their podcast today. It was pretty good. Though they only put the Blazers.
I've been a subscriber for a while.
In A tier, and I was upset about that.
Yeah.
You have your Rip City.
Rip City.
And it's not because of marijuana, contrary to popular belief. Not because people are ripping on their vapes.
No, and also not the reason why they're called the Blazers. But it
Blaze
is
up.
What I do before I go to games. I was gonna go to the game on Tuesday. Tuesday was yesterday for us. But on Tuesday when I played the Cavs. But James didn't want to go with me. And then I missed my chance to get like $8 tickets. So they were up to like $16. And I was like, maybe not worth it. And so that's how James made me miss the Scoot Henderson 18-6-6 performance. That was very solid. And Donovan Clingan had like 12 rebounds and 15 points or something. 17 points. We love the young core of the Blazers. But this is not a basketball podcast.
It's a baseball podcast.
We just love the Blazers.
And what we wanted to do with our TikTok section today is we're going to have a rookie section and a old people section and the rookie section.
Old people.
There's some old people who listen to the podcast. You might be surprised, but our age demographic is probably, if the median age of people listening to our podcast might be above like 45. Shout out to one of my grandparents who said he was listening to it. That's great. That's awesome. I promised to say something about a New York Mets player. That's nice. Actually, we did already. We
Yeah,
talked about
shout out
Lisa
my
on how
friend
it
from
could be.
elementary school who subscribed to
Hell
the
yeah.
only person with subscriber with public subscriber turned on. Just so you know, you can change that if you want to. I'm not gonna shout out anything else about you, but I think you probably know who you are. I don't talk to that many people from elementary school.
um, and some of these guys, you could confuse
Are
them.
basically in elementary
Yeah,
school.
for being in elementary school because they still have their baby faces. This is our rookie roster something. What is it? It's our
No,
rookie.
you're just giving me rookies tier
Okay,
list.
this
Rookie
is our
tier list.
rookie
We're putting
roster
rookies into
tier
a
list
tier list.
here. Mara is gonna
Yeah,
take rookies and she's gonna place them into this tier list that
yeah.
might
And
appear
James
on
is
your
gonna be
screen
mad.
constructed after the fact, but we'll see. No promises.
No, it's in the notes app. It's just proportioned very weirdly.
And
So
there's
the column that says S A B C D and F um is the same width as the column where all the names are gonna go.
okay,
And I tried really hard to fix it, but apparently Apple doesn't want you to be able to fix that. And that's because Apple is a company, and we hate companies on this podcast. Fuck them. Fuck them.
but
All right.
there are some companies which we kind of support, and those are the company of baseball teams and friends. We support the company of friends. And speaking of companies of
Company
friends,
not in the company not in the in
in the
in this
non-capitalist sense,
in the not in the we like spending time with our friends and
yeah,
their baseball team
yeah.
and not spending money. Although I spend money on my friends regularly.
I'm gonna
It's
shout you
bad for
out.
my bank account.
I'm gonna shout out a couple of rookies, and you're gonna kind of throw them onto your tier list. And maybe
Yeah,
they'll even be floating heads, but probably not, right? Probably no floating heads.
probably not. I don't want to edit.
No,
I
yeah, it's such
spent
a pain.
slightly
We'll
too
have
like
to
yeah
we'll have to do like prep work for our next tier list. Next time we have a tier list, we'll have floating heads for you guys.
yeah
That's our deal to
floating
you.
heads.
It's
Um,
like
it's like talking heads, but
oh, I was gonna make
worse.
a space fellatio joke, so we went different directions, and that's great. But we'll be moving on from that, and I'm gonna
Like
I'm trying to think of a movie with like a
uh
sex scene in space, and I don't really have a good one now.
no, I'm thinking about the line from Rap God, but I don't know Rap God well enough. But there is a thing where he's a floating head. And
Oh
he thought about fellatio. You think YouTube's gonna be mad that we say the word fellatio?
no, probably not. We say other more
I can
explicit
take it out.
words. No, I'm not concerned about it.
Yeah, but like people swear, but like it's a little bit more explicit when we're talking about it that way. But I
I
feel
feel
like
like
they
it's a
like
little
Sabrina
more.
Carpenter, and Sabrina Carpenter is definitely
No,
saying
we're good.
dirtier things than we are.
They don't. As long as you're not advertising us as YouTube kids, because we're not for kids. This is
Yeah,
not a kid show.
no, it is not a kid show. Oh, I did have an interesting idea for a future advertising segment that I'll talk to you about, where we're not actually advertising anything, but it'll be phrased like an advertising segment
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm
because I
excited
like
to
those.
advertise not advertisements.
Yep, it's actually yeah, it's an anti-advertisement.
And this is
All right.
anti with an I and not with an E, and I'm going to toss you some rookies now. Um, your first
Yes.
one is a rookie who's done great in spring training, who we haven't talked about yet, who was drafted last year. That is Jack Caglianone of the Kansas City Royals.
Caglione. Yeah. Caglione.
I can't even.
I think it's Caglione.
Caglione. I
Um,
had his name.
my dad went to the University of Florida. We now go to a school without any sports, so I'm still a Gator fan. There was some discourse about that on various apps this past week, but I still think of myself as a Gator fan, even though I don't go to the University of Florida, obviously. But yeah, I like it when Gators are good. Shout out Wyatt Langford. Shout out Harrison Bader. Shout out Pete Alonso.
Harrison
Shout out
Bader,
other white people.
aka.
Darth Bader, Master Bader.
There we go.
Um, and so taking away my Gator pride, I'm going to put him in B tier. I think he has a lot of upside, but like I could see the batting average being really bad.
Yeah.
Like he's got power for
Yeah.
days, and he's not going to pitch this year. Probably like
No.
I'd like to see him pitch in the minors. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I haven't really been up to date on it, but I'd like to see him like every fifth day, like go down and pitch once a week for their, you know, in rookie ball or something and get him up because like he really could be a mini Shohei Ohtani. I don't think he's as unicorny as Shohei Ohtani is, but like he can throw pretty hard. He's got pretty good stuff. He could be a solid pitcher and like a great power hitter. I'm gonna put him B tier for this year. Overall, his career, I think he could be A or S, but I think he's just gonna be like a very solid bat this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see if I can spell his name right. Caglioni. We'll see if that's right.
I'm gonna throw you another guy. This guy, you said his name before the podcast, but I want to hear your thoughts. And that is a athletics player by the name of Jacob Wilson. Mara's busy spelling the
Sorry, I can't
Jack's
spell.
name. No, yeah,
You gotta,
it's a tough name there.
Jacob Wilson.
Easier to spell.
I'm gonna put Jacob Wilson A tier. A tier.
Oh, okay.
I think he. You were talking about him as a kind of one tool, like just batting average guy.
Mm-hmm.
But like he hit like 450 with like a 700 slugging in minor leagues. Like he was absolutely raking. And like if he hits 300 with like a decent number of doubles, like he's from a middle infield position that's like incredibly valuable immediately. And I like his like hit tool is very good, and I think his power's a little underrated from a you know I don't think he's gonna hit 40 home runs, but by any stretch of the imagination, but like I think he can hit a lot of. I think his speed's pretty good. No, I actually haven't really
he should
looked
steal
into
a
it.
couple bases. I don't think he's like a monster.
Yeah,
he'll get out there. He'll run some.
Yeah, I think he'll be very like a very good. I think his floor is very low, and I think he's a guy that also a little bit similarly to Acuna, the younger that we talked about earlier, is that like you have to do less as a hitter to like rack up WAR when you play a middle infield position.
Yep.
And I think he'll be a good enough hitter to exist. And he's rocketed up the minors, and he just keeps hitting. He was slugging, over 600. And he was hitting almost 400 and slugging over 600 in AAA. Like, I could see him being absolutely fantastic, but I'm just going to keep him in A tier.
Yeah, and I'm a little less optimistic. I like the power he's displayed in spring training, but I don't really think it's going to translate super well this year. But yeah, I like.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing is the field. Like, he'll get a boost from minor league ballpark.
Yeah,
bullshit.
His ballpark should be fun. Now I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to try to stump you a little bit here. I'm going to try to give you some rookies you might not have even heard of. And so we'll see where they go. We're going to see how well your research went here. This player is on the starting roster for the Los Angeles Angels and Anaheim. His name is Christian Moore. He's going to be their opening day second baseman. He is a 2024 draftee.
I mean, I think if you're a 2024 draftee,
yep,
you're kind of like if you're already in the majors at a 2024 draftee, your floor is pretty like. I think it's going to be hard for you to be a D or F tier to like because you've already shown that you can like maturity. Like I assume he's a college player. No,
Yeah, but but the Angels do this. This is the
the
Angels.
Angels
They do
do
this
do
with
this.
all their hitters just because they like to. It's kind of fun. They take their best hitters and they throw them in the major leagues. This is not because he had
I
some splendid minor league career.
no, but I think he won't be lost at the major league level like other people are.
That's true.
They they who's their first baseman guy?
Shanwa.
Who also did that?
Is it Nolan Shanwa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean Yuan,
Yeah.
who's no longer on the team. Is he on the
No, he's not that good.
like? Why did? Oh yeah, I was like, it's because he has a similar name to somebody else. Um, I don't know. Again, like second baseman. Like I don't think you can be an F. Like it's hard to be an F tier second baseman unless you're absolutely awful, and I don't think he's going to be that. I haven't read it, but from what you've said, and
Here.
because your stuff,
I'll give you his AAA. His AAA. Sorry. He made a little bit of a. He had 98 plate appearances in AA last year. He walked 8% of the time, struck out about 30% of the time, but he also batted 322. He had a 169 WRC plus, right? He slugged 533. He hit the
yeah,
snot out of the ball, but
yeah,
had a strikeout problem for sure.
yeah.
And he is the ripe age of 22.
I can put him D tier.
Well, there you go. D tier. Now, can I get a player in the S tier? I'm gonna throw out. Ooh, actually, no. I have a more fun idea before that. Guardians legend
What was his
Chase.
name again?
Oh yeah, sorry. Um, Christian Moore. It's spelled how you think it
How do you
is.
spell that?
It's spelled how you think it
No, it
is.
isn't.
And then there's two
No, it isn't.
O's. Yeah, there's two O's and more, but the other part is spelled how you think it is.
With an E at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our other player is Chase DeLauder, recently hit by a fun case of sports hernia, and he's back in May and
Yeah, I
June.
mean, I'm gonna put him in F tier because I
There you
don't think
go.
he's playing in the major leagues this year.
Darn.
But or if he does, he'll maybe play the last. He'll have 2 starts at the end of the year. But I love me some Chase. It doesn't like me. It corrected it to Hollander. Chase the Lander. I did a Rockies rebuild in the park baseball. It was the last one I did, and I'll probably complain about it for a while until I start up a new one because they fired me even though I made back-to-back World Series. Pretty early on, and Chase Lander was a multi-time All-Star, and he won a bunch of Gold Gloves too. But that doesn't really say anything about how good he'll be. But I like a lot of the Rockies prospects more than other people do. But yeah, I don't think Chase Dolander's playing in the major leagues this year.
Yeah, except Chase. Oh wait. Okay, yeah, you. Okay. We crossed our paths here. Chase DeLauder is another rookie. I was thinking actually about Guardians outfielder Chase DeLauder. Very similar names, but those are both relevant to our
Oh, I'm
discussion
so
here.
dumb.
No. Chase DeLauder. He was on my list as well. Now we've had a great.
Oh yeah,
You've
I
thrown him on your
can't.
tier
Yeah,
list.
yeah. The audio cuts out slightly, so I just assumed I was slightly mishearing you, and you were
No.
saying Chase Delander incorrectly. I do remember you saying Guardians now. Yeah, I'm a dumbass, as we've already established.
But you put Chase DeLauder in your F tier, and now you have Chase DeLauder. So the Chase DeLauder background here is that he's out through, I don't know, mid-May, June or something
Here,
with
I can read it. I can read it.
sports
He's
hernia.
starting in AAA.
Yeah, but he got
Sports hernia.
surgery for sports hernia, so he's always hurt. That's his thing.
I mean, I could put him like I think if he Like I set the bar as B being good
Mm-hmm.
and D being slightly below average. Like I would put him between more and Caglioni, but on a closer to more. And so I don't know if I want to put that in C or just like make him the top of D tier. Just like because of injury. But like yeah, he's absolutely raking in these. Yeah, it is annoying that it doesn't tell you what level it is on. But yeah, he played what 39 games last year.
Yeah, it's
He absolutely
his
raked by
it's
the
an
end.
injury question. Yeah.
I'll put him at the top of
D
D
tier.
tier
Okay.
purely for injury concerns. But I think if he comes back, he can rank.
Okay.
And caps lock was on because I can't type.
We're gonna go back
They
to
shouldn't have made me be the one to type, but you know.
we're gonna go back to AAA prospects here. Though
Mm,
I guess that guy's AAA too. No, these have mostly been AAA, with the exception of Angel
yeah.
Legend and Jack. But this is Emmanuel Rodriguez of the Twins, and I don't know if you know anything about Emmanuel Rodriguez. I dropped his name earlier.
I mean, I'm looking at his stats right now.
Have you
I
found his
mean,
90th percentile exit velocity? Because this is perhaps the most ridiculous stat I've ever heard.
you were talking about it earlier, and I fucking believe you. Um,
110 is his 90th percentile EB.
Jesus,
I mean,
Jesus.
and he can run.
10% of his hits are at least 110.
The comp is Kyle Schwarber, but who can like run a lot. And
Yeah, I mean
he's a Minnesota Twins player though, so there's a concern there.
yes. I think I'm gonna put him in A, but those numbers are fucking. I mean, yeah, look, he walks a lot.
Yup.
At least looking at this, he hits the ball hard. What is his It doesn't let me. Oh, it does let me scroll. Yay! It lets me scroll. He stole 9 bases in how many games? Like 40 something games. Yeah, I'm gonna put him A tier because that's. You've convinced me that he is kind of actually crazy and insane.
And the great thing
Crazy
about
town.
baseball is there's so many of these guys. There's like 30
So many
guys.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who you haven't heard of who are going to be
I
amazing.
yeah. This is the fun thing about being a sports fan that doesn't always that isn't super pessimistic about the health of their sport because you can just like watch players be good and not like I don't know. I'm not really nostalgic about a past time. I mean, I'd love it if Derek Jeter came back, but I'm not like 2009 was the greatest year in baseball history, and anything after that is dumb. Um, like I think both of us are very much. We've got so much great baseball. Let's just fucking enjoy it, and that's great.
Great baseball. And great baseball, it starts with the not Oakland, the Athletics. And the question is, do you think it's going to start with Athletics first baseman Nick Kurtz? I think I
Is
texted
he?
you at some point this offseason. I was like, hey, Mark.
It pisses me off that it doesn't. There's not even a time. He's their number 2 prospect.
I was like, hey,
It does
Mara,
say he's
Nick
not up till
Kurtz.
2026
Yeah, well,
on,
yeah.
but
So the question is, when is he up? I mean, okay, he's blocked by who at first base? Seth Brown and Tyler Soderstrom. I mean, it's not. I mean, those guys are fine, but they're not like So,
yeah. I mean he's played 12 minor league games. It's a
yep,
little hard to tell. Um, yeah, good power.
that's his whole thing. He's like a 40 plus
Yes,
home run potential guy.
yeah. Yeah, 14 hits and 4 of them were home runs.
He
10 Ks to 12 walks is very solid
has a
when
good
he's in
approach, right?
AAA.
I think he's a college player. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Again, I think I'm going to put him in D tier below
filling out our D
Delauder,
tier.
but only because I don't think he's a little blocked. And I'm not sure he'll play very much this year.
Okay. I'll toss you
But
some other names. I'll toss you some. Um, let's do some catchers here. I'm gonna throw. Can I throw you a bunch of catchers? Is that bad? Can I
yeah,
just
you
like?
can throw me a bunch of
Okay,
catchers.
I'm gonna throw you like 5 catchers, and you can do what you want with them.
Let's hope I've heard of them.
Okay, here we go.
I've heard of a bunch of them. I like catcher
Yeah,
prospects,
yeah.
but
Drake
I'm a little
Baldwin
dumb.
on the Braves. Who's gonna
Who I
be?
know nothing about.
Yeah, he's gonna be their opening day catcher. That's okay. You'll know something about this next one. It's a former Yankee, Agustin Ramirez or Agustin. I don't know
I'm
how
going
you
to put
pronounce his name
him pretty solidly C
for
tier.
the
If
Marlins.
Caglione is B tier, I think Ramirez can be it. If
Okay.
Caglione is B tier, I can put Ramirez.
You talked
And
about
I'm
Kyle Teal earlier. I don't know where he
I'm
falls on
gonna
here.
put Baldwin also in C tier, but
Yeah.
below Ramirez.
And so your other three are Kyle Teal, Dalton Rushing, and Samuel Basayo.
Okay, I'm putting Basayo in S tier. I think probably the best catcher prospect in baseball right now. Um, I can't spell. Um, and I'm gonna put Teal at the top of A tier, and I think I think Rushing is in between them as a hitter, but
Yeah.
obviously not a very good defender. But I'm thinking mostly about the bat
Okay.
right now, and like catcher bat as good as Dalton Rushing. If he's getting like if Freddie Freeman doesn't get hurt, and he's if Freddie Freeman gets does if he gets time over Will Smith rather than a hurt Freddie Freeman,
And Freddie Freeman's
I
already
think
not playing in night games or back to backs.
yeah, which is less good for his case because getting catcher playing time is better for his case. But I think I'm gonna put him at the bottom of S tier, below Basayo.
Sneaks in there. Okay, I'll give you one more hitting prospect name, and then we can kind of go down the. You can rapid fire some pitcher takes. And then
Okay.
we can turn to our best non all stars.
All right.
Okay. Your last hitter is a former Boston Red Sox who was traded in a blockbuster this offseason. It is Chase Mydra, potential shortstop for the Chicago White Sox, though he is starting the year in AAA.
D tier, D tier. We've talked about this guy before, not on this podcast. Just unplayably little power. Like slugging percentage lower than his batting average, like lower than his on base percentage kind of player.
Mhm.
And I don't think his defense is good enough to be like a. I mean, I think there's a reason we don't see. Oh, who's the guy? The Hall of Famer. What's his fucking name? Um,
Slap hitting Hall of Fame.
you know, Hall of Famer. Is it Appling? Whose on base percentage is like 399 and then has a lower. I think it's Appling. I'm like 90% sure it's Appling. Who like had an OBP of 399, but like a slugging percentage of like 380 something. There's a reason we don't see a lot of that anymore. And I think it's because pitchers can really punish you if you don't have the. And we saw this with Noah Shanuel.
Yep.
Nolan Shanuel? Noah
Yep.
Shanuel?
Nolan. Yeah.
Nolan. Where pitchers can just punish you if you don't like hit tools and I can only get you so far if you don't have enough power to like deal with it. And like Luis Arise people always talk about how he doesn't have any power, but like he hits a lot of doubles, and I'm not sure. I where is he? Is he on the White Sox now?
Yeah, he plays second base, but he'll
I would just
probably be their shortstop um, this year if he comes up.
yeah,
Or that's been where speculation has been headed.
infielder.
Yeah,
Um,
and playing shortstop might be
122
good for his
games.
value. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he
He's not a
had
great fielder.
29 extra base hits in 122 games. He had 20 doubles in 122 games and
Yeah.
3 triples. Like I think that that's just not enough. And like walking more than you strike out is good, but like yeah, 437 OBP, 400 slugging.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you say his OBP is, you know, you say he loses 60 points on his batting average for a little while, or he's only hitting 293, which is not actually insane in AAA.
Right.
Like he could be a 260. If he's a 260 hitter, he's pretty unplayable, I think.
There you have it.
For anybody but the White Sox.
Yeah, for rotation, do you want me to throw guys at you? Do you want to throw guys at me? We can do whatever.
Yeah, why
I have
don't
a
you
list of
throw
people.
guys at me? And
All right.
I'm a little bit less. I'm even less
In tune with the that's what I thought with the
Yeah.
pitchers, right? Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
easy from the
that
top
was
is Job and Chandler up here.
Job and Chandler. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
'Cause
The guys we talked about earlier. Yeah, Jackson, Job, and Bubba Chandler.
yes.
Yep.
I'm not gonna put those on there. I think those are both S tier.
Perfect. We're going to new guys. Our new guys are a pair of Texas Rangers starting pitchers who are opening
This is exactly where I thought you were gonna go.
this season as the number 4 and the number 5. That is Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker. We saw some of Kumar towards the end of last season.
I think Kumar Rocker is a much better prospect, but Leiter might. I don't know. How old is Leiter? He's 24, and Rocker's much younger than that, right? Oh no, Rocker's 25. Look, Rocker, better pitcher, and was a better pitcher in the major leagues last year.
Yeah, he
And
put up
so
a
I
good.
think easily the best. But do I want to go S tier with him? Because I do think he's probably the best pitching prospect we didn't talk about. Other people are much higher on him than I am.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a little bit of a safe play to put him in S tier. But maybe I'll put him below Kyle Teal, just to be contrarian to everybody else.
Yeah, there are definitely guys I think I'm higher on, but I think it's like a good command control kind of play. Yeah. I mean, what about Jack Leiter?
Leiter, I think. I believe in the Rangers pitching organization enough that he's not. He had like an 8 ERA in the majors in
the question is
9 games.
I mean, he strikes out so many batters. It's just, is he going to walk?
Yeah,
everybody?
I don't think that is going to continue.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of strikeouts, not a lot of walks. I think B tier is very safe for Leiter.
Okay.
Was he a number 1? Or he was like the first pitcher off the board the year he drafted, right?
He was up there.
Am I getting him confused?
I don't remember what his draft slot looked like.
No, there's a reason. Yeah, second overall pick in the 2021. In the 2021 MLB draft. Yeah. He was taken right after Henry Davis and right above Jackson Jobe and Marcelo Mayer and Colton Cowser and Jordan Waller, who we've all talked about. Kumar Rocker was picked 10th. with the Mets. Harry Ford, Sal Frelick, Andrew Painter picked 13th. Trey Sweeney, who probably should be the starting shortstop for the White Sox, but won't be. Max Muncy, the other one.
Who we didn't talk about, but actually, wait, this is important news because Zach Geloff broke his hamate. Zach Geloff kind of got a fractured bone or something, and is out. He has to get surgery. So other Max Muncy, the A's Max Muncy, has made their opening day lineup. It's going to be their second baseman. That's really exciting.
Who I don't really know that much about, but yes.
And he's a fun guy. He's a big prospect for them. Should be good. Pitchers. Jack Leiter. I'm going to give you another pair of pitchers. These ones are Minnesota Twins, who you'll know because we've talked about them, but they came up last podcast episode and last season, yes. And that is Zebby Matthews and David Festa, neither of whom are making the MLB opening day lineup, but they'll be up soon.
I'm not super sure I have a great handle on their things, but I sort of trust your ability to rank, to like pick out pitching prospects more than maybe my own. And I think because you're high on them, I'm sort of taking your word for it without really doing my own research. And as you'll probably have guessed, I've forgotten both of their names, which is another problem.
It's Zebby Matthews, which is an awesome name. I love it, Zebby. And David Festa. Like, kind of like that guy from the...
Where would you put them?
Oh, I don't know.
Like Cessna?
No, I was thinking like from that movie with the goat, like Fester from the Addams Family. But if you said it in a Boston accent, Festa.
Yeah, but he's not a goat. Fester's not a goat.
No, but it's David Festa. Uncle. So then it's the uncle. No, yeah, the guy from the Addams Family. Yeah.
Whose uncle is he?
Isn't he he's the uncle of the kids? He's the brother of the like one of the Addams, the husband.
There's some really funny. I don't actually know too much about the Addams Family lore. There's this guy on TikTok who has a series where he does like if the Addams Family was in Gotham with like all the Batman people.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the Uncle Fester and then the grandma, who's like weird. They keep joking about how nobody is really sure who's in what way they're related to the actual family. So there's somebody's uncle and somebody's grandma, and it's a little hard to tell whether or not they're the parents' grandma or the kid's grandma or the like uncle to either of the parents or the sibling to either of the parents. And it's a little up in the air. And I think that's a funny joke, but I'm not. I saw Wednesday. I've seen some episodes of the original cartoon. I haven't seen any of the movies, which is weird.
I've exclusively seen the movies. We've seen the opposite things. That's really funny.
Yes. No, the original sitcom, a lot of fun. I love an old-timey sitcom, especially when they have kind of a wacky premise. Like, I mean, I don't mind Happy Days, but like, not really a very interesting premise. But Addams Family, great premise. I recommend. It's very silly.
I'm going to just go through names here, and if you have thoughts on any of them, you can jump in. And if not, we'll kind of move through them really quick and then get on to our All-Stars. Or not All-Stars. Okay. Quinn Matthews of the Cardinals. He's a freak. When is he up? I don't know. He's a freak.
I'm going to put him in B because he's a freak. But
Brandon Sproat, kind of boring. Mets prospect, but he's like big league ready and can spin it, but his fastball's a question mark.
I don't remember how to spell his name.
Sproat. Sproat. It sounds like some kind of weird sickness.
My great-great-grandfather died of Sproat while fleeing pogroms in Ukraine.
There you go.
Rest in peace.
Um,
Wait, that was the Catholic one.
yeah, they're
The
all out.
Catholics are mad at us again. We made the Catholics mad at us last week. The Catholics are mad at us again.
I'll give
Sorry,
you
Catholics.
I'll give you a pair of White Sox. This is Shane Smith. He has a good extension, good fastball, cutter, curveball. And then you have Noah
I really like
Schultz,
Shane Smith.
and Noah Schultz has Randy Johnson comps.
Yes. I am higher on Shane Smith than other people and lower on Noah Schultz than other people, but Noah Schultz is still definitely the better prospect.
Yeah, a 1.48 ERA and a 1.02 WHIP with almost a
Yes.
30% K rate and like a low walk rate in Double A.
Yeah. And the question with Noah Schultz is S or A. And it really
Yeah.
depends on things, but I think it's not criminal to put him in S tier.
And you like Shane Smith, you said, so.
Yes. I'm gonna put him in B. Even though I think he could be better than that. But I'm playing it a little safe right now.
And I'll give you the last pitcher who's the best name on this list in my mind. And that's Moises.
Is it Quinn Priester?
No, it's not.
Shit.
I could have given you Quinn Priester, but instead I'm going to give you Moises Chassé.
Who I know nothing about.
Okay. Well, you can rank Quinn Priester instead if you like. Moises Chassé is behind Andrew Painter in the Phillies kind of pecking order. Maybe ahead of him. I don't know. He's a pitching prospect for the Phillies who's filthy.
Yeah.
And he has a wonderful name. I don't know. But he's not Andrew Painter.
Yeah, I mean, what's the 124 Ks to 40 walks.
Yeah. Fastball slider guy. I mean, those are his like elite offerings. And
yeah, I mean, he didn't like dominate in the minors last year. Definitely solid. I mean, I think there are too many questions about how much of a chance he'll get to pitch this year.
Well, there you go.
Majors.
So I'm
going to put him at C, but
okay,
because I think he has a better chance than, like, I don't think he's going to not pitch in the majors at all. But I think, because I think, injuries always happen, and you're never going to just have 5 or 6 guys start games for you. And he's, one of the next few up to do so for the Phillies. I think he'll get a chance. How much of a chance he gets is a different question, but yeah, 124 strikeouts to 40 walks is nuts. That's nuts.
He's nuts. And you know what else is nuts? The fact that none of these players we're going to be talking about drafting. We talked about that capital section earlier. None of these players that we're going to talk about have made the All-Star team. That's nuts. It's as nuts as, I don't know, what's a movie
I'm
about?
putting Quinn Priester in B tier, by the way.
That's Crazy Town.
It is Crazy Town, but I'm Crazy Town population me and my goat
Kenta Colvin.
What's his name? Portland Gas and Electric. I hate that company so much. Shout out Portland Gas and Electric, you suck. Fuckers got me arrested.
You have to feel like PGE is upping people's prices in a kind of strange way. Like there's obviously there's like
kind of evil about it.
Everyone in Portland's been complaining, and I know that they don't set the I know that the electrical commission, like the board, the utilities board is what sets the prices, and they had to.
Yes.
The U.S. has really low electricity rates, and for like countries, period, and then now the electrical companies have to pay for the damage they're inflicting on the climate, and so that's part of why rates went up so much in like the last 3 years. But the rates have gone up more than that amount. They've gone up like people have been reporting like doubled and tripled rates in a very strange way.
It's scary. And then they'll shut people's heat off randomly. Shout out James's girlfriend.
Shout out.
Shout out. Um, who's picking first? Who's picking first?
Best non All Stars. Do you want? You can have first pick. I had it
Okay,
listed.
I'll introduce it, but can we figure out who's picking first before I actually do the intro thing? Because
Oh
I think this
yeah,
is going to be the one that's going to be actually a TikTok. Because the last one took too long.
you pick first.
Okay, I'll pick first, and James will pick second. All right. Okay. We're drafting the best current players to never make an All-Star game. They have to debuted since 2022, and they have to debut before 22 or whatever, and not have made any All-Star games, and that's really the only restriction. We're kind of doing it both based on like this year projections and like how did they not make one project like past like how is this guy not made an All-Star team yet, as well as like 2024. We're kind of keeping those both in the pack. For my 1-1, and I think this is an easy 1-1, Cal Raleigh. I think easily the best player on the list.
He was at the top of my list
Um,
too. I had a couple guys, but
yeah,
yeah, he's number
he
one.
Platinum Glove winner, arguably the best catcher in baseball. Very solid. Or actually, no, he only won the Gold Glove, didn't he? Or did he win the Platinum Glove?
I think he won the platinum in the AL.
Right.
Yeah. Okay,
And so James will now go back to back.
I'll take O'Neal Cruz because I think the Pirates. I think the Pirates will have a hitter who makes it, and I don't think it's going to be Brian Reynolds. I think it's going to be a 30-30 season from O'Neal Cruz. And I think my other one, I'm just going to take a good pitcher. I'm going to take Dylan Cease. He'll make it on the Padres. I think I was shocked that he hadn't made it, actually. He was the pitcher on that list where I was like, whoa, Dylan Cease hasn't made it. So.
Yeah, me neither. Me too. Because he was like second in Cy Young voting now. A few years ago.
Must have been like a second half miracle or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, those were my 1-2, and Cruz is top 5 for me. I am going to go with a guy who I think won't be fantastic this year just because of aging. But it's a little crazy to me that Christian Walker hasn't made an All-Star game with how consistently great he's been. And I think I need some pitching. And I think there are 2 places I could go. And I think one person has been better on a per inning basis, and the other one has maybe had a more impressive career. And so I'm going to break the tie by who I think is going to be better this year, and that's going to be Michael King.
A lot of Padres. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, a lot of Padres. They don't like the Padres. Neither do I, but the voters don't like the Padres, and I agree with them.
I don't know how many we're drafting, but I still have a lot on my list. I'm going to go with...
we're only drafting 5, but we can talk about all the ones we don't get.
Okay. Well, I think the Rockies are going to need an All-Star because everyone gets an All-Star, and so I'm going to take Ezekiel Tovar because it feels like he's going to be their All-Star this year. And the Rockies are going to run wild on the bases, and Tovar's going to be at the top of that. And another pitcher I want to grab...
I can spell Ezekiel.
Yeah, it's a little tough. Another pitcher I want to grab is Minnesota Twins' Joe Ryan. He's back from his tear towards the end of last season. He's a machine.
Yep, that was the other.
He's, I think, the highest upside pitcher in their rotation, and it's not close, actually. I love him more than Pablo Lopez and Bailey Ober. Even though I think he's an injury risk, he's my guy.
I agree. He was the other person I was debating with Michael King, I think. I think Joe Ryan's career has not been fantastic as a whole. He's got like a career 101 ERA plus, but he could be really good this year, and obviously he's got more volume than King. Now I think I want another pitcher. But I might not take a starter. I might instead take an absolute freak of a reliever, Johan Duran.
That's fine.
He's not hurt, right?
He's not what?
Yet. He's not hurt currently, right?
No, he's not hurt currently.
Yeah.
He throws 102.
And then for my final pick, oh, there's a lot of ways I could go with this.
I know, that's the problem.
I feel like it would be a little bit disrespectful because he has the most WAR of any active player not to make an All-Star game. So maybe I'll just take him, even though I don't really like him.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
And that'll be Brandon Nimmo.
And we brought up the Mets earlier, and that this guy would come up. Not our favorite politics in the world. In fact, some of our least favorite.
Yeah. Some say it's actually the reason he's some say the reason he hasn't been good lately is because his politics are bad. I think we said that last week.
And some say it's because he has patellar tendonitis or plantar fasciitis. But I get those two mixed up. Some say it's because he has the same curse that has the fallen Carlos Correa.
Yeah. And it's because he always runs to first base because he's a dork. Anyway, we just repeated the same conversation we had last
Bryce Harper could never. And my final pick will be Michael Harris II.
Ooh.
Because how he has not made an All-Star game, I don't know. But all my guys are at injury risks. That's great. I'm really liking that. Looks like a fantasy baseball draft of mine.
That is a great pick. I kind of forgot that probably should have been my pick. I think there were some really good names not.
There's so many good names not on the list. Do you want to name some really quick?
Seiya Suzuki. He's been very solid. Ha-Seong Kim.
Yeah.
Willie Adames.
Yep.
They've all had great years in the past. Somebody I think has a really good chance of making it this year that hasn't had one yet. Tristan Casas.
And Vinny Pasquantino. Yeah.
And Vinny Pasquantino.
And then
who put this Freddie Freeman in my Vinny Pasquantino? Shout out Foolish Bailey again.
And then pitchers Ryan Pepio has made it, but this could be his Hunter Brown for the Astros. Looked incredible. He can make it. Dustin May, he's healthy. Will Dustin May make it? He's been around forever, but he's never been healthy. What about I don't know, Lars Nootbaar for the Cardinals? The Cardinals need an All-Star. Who the heck is their All-Star going to be? It could be Lars Nootbaar. He's awesome.
Tyler O'Neill probably won't make it, but is Tyler O'Neill.
There's Mark Vientos. Apparently he debuted before 2022 or earlier, so I didn't know that, but I mean, this could be his year. Oh, Luis Garcia for the Nationals, the second baseman. I don't know. There's so many guys on this list. There's so many guys who haven't made the All-Star game. And I think that's why I tried to pick some guys. I picked a Pirate. I picked a Rocky. I was trying to pick a couple guys who were on teams where I thought someone else wouldn't make it. And the twin, Joe Ryan.
I do think All-Star games are easier to come by in MLB. So I kind of just assumed that most good players will have made one. There are some really not very good players who have made a bunch of All-Star games. And so I kind of assumed the list would be shorter than it is. Because in basketball, getting an All-Star is a really big deal to your legacy, and it's hard to be an All-Star, and being an All-Star is a big deal. But there have been a lot of really silly All-Stars that at one or two WAR, and it's not even because every team gets one. Pitchers, Shane Baz, Zach Eflin. I don't know. There were a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of fun.
Lots and lots of players.
Yeah, fun upside guys. And catchers. There's tons of catchers. I was whoa. Yainer Diaz didn't make it last. I don't know. That seems one where it's whoa, he didn't make it. Or those guys. There's a bunch of young Logan O'Hoppe and Francisco Alvarez. There's a lot of these young catchers who they're gonna make it soon, but I don't know. Yeah, who've been around for a couple of years but haven't made it. So
I mean, I think Logan O'Hoppe could, depending on injuries with the Angels, could probably be there.
Okay, that's the problem. I had 4 guys on my list. I was oh yeah, Logan O'Hoppe, and Taylor Ward hasn't made the All-Stars, but he's good, and if Trout gets hurt, or Luis Renjifo. Like the Angels need somebody, and it's sure as hell not going to be a pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know who won, and let us know if you think I spelled Johan Duran's name wrong, even though I didn't. I definitely did spell O'Neal Cruz's name wrong, but
Or Ezekiel Tovar.
I spelled Ezekiel Tovar correctly. I looked it up. The other ones I didn't look up. It's because I have more respect for Zeke than I do for murderers or people whose name starts with a J and then an H. Alleged murderers. I think he was acquitted.
Really?
I don't actually remember what
I mean,
happened.
O.J. Simpson was acquitted.
Alleged murders. Yeah. But yeah. Jim Leyritz reference.
Was this
Also acquitted. This is the guy we were talking about at
this is
dinner.
the top 200 catcher.
Yankees legend Jim Leyritz
Tune into
got a drunk driving accident and killed somebody in 2007. But those of you who are too young to remember, and I am also too young to remember because it happened 8 years before I was born. But he was a hero for the 1996 Yankees. He was like a big playoff moment for the 96 Yankees.
some of you might not even
Yeah.
remember the details of the court case, which included that the other driver was also drunk. It was a drunk driver on drunk driver accident, which is probably more common than we realize. Like it seems highly likely, if you know.
Yeah, well,
like, or like the odds are like not as crazy.
A third of all accidents involve a drunk driver.
Yeah, I wonder how many involve two.
And so, yeah. Don't drink and drive.
Don't drive.
This is the message from today.
Take-
Don't drive, don't drink, and definitely don't do them both together.
Bike to places, take your public transit.
Yeah.
Support your local infrastructure.
Don't gamble. No gambling. Sports gambling is bad. Do not use any information found on this podcast is not to be used in sports gambling.
It is
if
to be
bet
used
on any player we ever talk about. I will come to your house and I will like flick you in the ear repeatedly.
You can use it on your
and then stab you, but mostly the flicking in the ear.
On your beautiful fantasy teams, but not on your gambling pursuits.
Yeah.
We don't support that.
If your fantasy team is worth if you had to pay more than $20 to get into your fantasy team, you're also not allowed to.
Yeah, you shouldn't listen to us.
Yes. We're idiots. Don't listen to us. But also you're an idiot and don't gamble. That's how you lose money. The way you make money, theft.
That's how some people make money.
You don't, in the immortal words of Johnny Cash, you don't pay tax on money you steal.
Which is why billionaires pay no taxes at all. And,
yep.
Yeah.
Classic. I'm going to have to figure out how to stop screen recording this notes app. But I think that's all for us today. If you're still watching, what should they do if they're still watching?
You should subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's up and running. You should find us on our social media platforms. There's a whole bunch. There is a Instagram account, which we're starting, which will have Reels. We have a TikTok account that's going to have TikToks on it. We have our Blue Skies, which you can...
won't be up by the time this is up.
They'll be out in the future.
It'll be up.
It's something we're working on.
Before the next episode is up.
And somewhere down there and down here, probably, is where you can find our Blue Sky handles. Yep.
Probably and here, and then over here.
Yeah, and we're kind of increasingly active on those. I'm increasingly active.
Mario's always been active. The everything app. No.
And we're gonna I'm gonna try to get some of these out on normal podcasting apps as well. So wherever you find us if you find us not with video and you only have audio recording, then
if you're still here, please comment the worst gambling site and the name of the CEO of the gambling site. It should be publicly available information. That doesn't count as doxing.
And we will see you next week where we will talk about opening day and I think what our hot takes for the season based on opening week, something like
Yeah,
that.
overreactions to week one,
But they
and
won't be
also we may or may
overreactions.
not do.
They'll be normal reactions.
Um, we also might do top 50 players. It's a little up in the air still, but
Oh shit!
James was saying they wanted to do top 50 players
I
in the
just saw
league right
Foolish
now.
Bailey's like bad list, and I was like, wow, that's terrible.
Yeah,
But I
the
don't know that I
fake
can do
one.
better. So,
Yeah, it's tough.
but it would be kind of fun to do
Um,
the like 10 by 10, like you really
yeah,
would feel 10 at a time or something. We'll see what we can do.
yeah. I think we could do it, but we also might just do that like at the end of May, and then at the All Star break, and then at the end of the season, and then
For sure.
after the play, like, and just like not. I think it would be good to have like a baseline that we could compare it to at the beginning of the year, and then we just like see how much the list changes
Mm-hmm.
at every level that we go through. But yeah, that's the show. MLB the show, the video game, out now on apps. It's getting bad reviews. It's a base hit into right field, ground ball base hit right field. Is
I've
that
always
the
wanted to try like
thing?
they're like making a player whatever mode or something. But I've never like played games on an
Yeah,
Xbox or something. It's not. I don't know.
yeah. I've never had a console. I'm not much of a gamer. I pretty much only play out of the park baseball and a bunch of baseball games on my phone and a bunch of football games on my phone. And 2048. Shout out 2048. If you're still here after the last one, tell us your favorite number in 2048. Yeah, and cut. Can we cut? Outro noises. Woohoo.